No.
Okay, y'all, this is
Oh,
getting
come on,
super
do it.
weird.
An awareness is emerging of women's participation in online games and its culture. However, they may experience substantive challenges in laying claim to the gamer identity, within digital forms described as masculine and sometimes hostile spaces by players, campaigners, and activists. In public discourse, gaming is becoming increasingly synonymous with sexism, with media reporting harassment of female-identifying gamers, as well as those who voice concerns about these issues. Hi, my name is Steph, and to get a more holistic understanding as to why, how, and when this happens, I will be separating this video into 3 different sections. The thing is, there are indeed a lot of female gamers, but FPS games are what we're targeting the most today. These are the games with guns, violence, and are typically action-packed and team-based. This is the safe space for the Reddit gremlins. Thus, the number of men outnumbers women by a lot. This graph reveals that only 7% of first-person shooter players are female, while in other genres, such as farming simulators, women outweigh men. One of the most common stereotypes is that women are not real gamers. This stems from the fact that men believe that women are not interested or lack the skills to play games. Another stereotype is that women only play games for male validation. This is a particularly damaging stereotype, not only because it undermines the credibility of women as gamers in general, but because it suggests that their motivations lie solely in male validation. This also makes men believe that women are available for their sexual gratification, which is unnecessary and creates a very hostile environment for women who are only trying to play the game. Fortunately, though, there are countless women who every day fight for the rights of equality for women in gaming, such as Seox, the League of Legends World Championship and LEC host, Shiver, who is also a host of many Dota 2 tournaments, and who, by the way, is Dutch, and also very talented gamers, such as Ramilia and Scarlet. More than 50% of women hide their voices in FPS games to avoid confrontation, and rightfully so, because the women who don't experience this.
Hey, yo, is that a gamer girl? Boys, gamer girl. You dumb?
Stop sounding so sexy, baby.
Go back to the kitchen.
Hey dude, you're a female, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
3, 4.
Can we talk less so we can actually hear what's going on?
Can you suck my dick, gamer girl?
Matthew finds in her study that 79.3% of 874 participants believe that sexism is preeminent in the gaming community, and that female players are 4 times more likely to have experienced forms of taunting or harassment from fellow players. My personal belief that is also backed up by a study is that this stems from the toxic masculinity that is present in the gaming community. Men feel threatened by the presence of women in their so-called safe space in gaming, and thus resort to abusive language in order to assert their dominance and maintain the status quo. Report systems do work, and they ban hundreds upon hundreds of players every day for using offensive language and provoking harassment, but at the end of the day, the people can just make different accounts, so. This point makes perfect sense in fusion with the uses and gratification theory. Thomas E. Ruggiero very well explains why this theory is still of incredible relevance, especially in the 21st century. To paraphrase the study, this theory is based on the fact that humans play an active role in media consumption rather than just brainlessly consuming it. That is, audiences choose and use a media for the following 4 media purposes and uses or gratifications. To answer the question of why men act like animalistic beasts around women in video games, we have to look at number 2 in particular. Most men who are radically misogynistic lack the necessary social experience of talking to women in real life. That, embedded into the point of women interfering with their gaming safe space, creates heavy emotions that they can only let out in one way: screaming and blurting out slurs, offensive statements, and overall misogynistic ideals through their little microphones. Gamergate was a loosely organized misogynistic online harassment campaign and a right-wing backlash against feminism, diversity, and progressivism in video game culture. To quote Aja Romano from her Vox article about this topic, Gamergate was all about disguising a sincere wish for violence and upheaval by dressing it up as hyperbole and irony in order to confuse outsiders and make it all seem less serious. I want to present you with the second media theory that acts into play here, the cultivation theory. Shroom does a very good job of describing this theory and its effects in a study from 2017. Basically, the cultivation theory suggests that the more video content we consume, the more we believe in it, and the more our world becomes surrounded by these ideas that we start seeing as facts. With the uprising of content creators such as Andrew Tate, who outwardly claim that women are inferior, and with the filterlessness of the internet back when Gamergate first erupted, the incline keeps on getting lower when it comes to the awareness of gender equality in the younger generations. In August 2014, a woman broke up with her boyfriend who was so offended by this that he took to the internet and posted nearly 10,000 words of misery and self-justification. This set in motion a movement that became known as Gamergate. Not only the woman, but others who have defended her were also sent rape and death threats. And also companies who advertised this being on her side were harassed into taking down their statements, such as Intel. This was the contagious rage of men who felt themselves despised and dispossessed, except when they sat in front of a keyboard. The thing is, the reasons for this vile movement are pretty incoherent, but included the false claim that Zoe Quinn, the original target, had slept with a journalist to ensure a favorable review of a computer game she had written, but the emotions behind it formed a coherent bundle.
I'm sorry, I've never met a woman in this game. Nice to meet you! How's my sandwich going?
There's no real side B to this tape. There's no other side of the story. Women are being discriminated, sexualized, and harassed for liking what they like. Instead of just being a bystander, next time, if you get a girl in your Valorant match, don't be afraid to be called a white knight or a simp, and do the right thing.